Hi guys, Fliteska here. Today we are at Starlight Drive In. It is now known as Starlight Stadium. It is a stadium that was originally built just after the war for human combat as a means of entertainment, but now it has been repurposed as a settlement. We have just recently had an attack, and one of the super mutants didn't actually even make it through our little guardhouse, which is protected by mutant hounds and also guards that sit in this little area here, which can control it using this switch. So as we come through, we can see another dead super mutant and a small area for our guards to just use the bar that is in there. We also have on this side a little shack with some equipment for our guards. There's a power armor station there, and also a little hut that they can hang out in as well. So going through, originally when this was still just a stadium, this shop was for getting your food and stuff before you went in, and it has been repurposed as a general goods store, and there's also a little doghouse there. Next we have a water pump, which unfortunately I could only find this generator to actually fit this one in because it uses so much power. So we're going to continue down here, and we're going to go into the side entrance. We've got a garage here which is just filled with a bunch of cars that are being worked on, and if we go into the main area, we can see the ground floor, which is primarily just shanty housing. So we have a few little housing bits in here, and just with beds and chairs. Not really much to go on in here. We still do have all of the fencing up from when it was an arena, which will lead you into our marketplace. So if I just continue down here, we can get stuck. Right, so we'll just go into marketplace. So we've got the clothing shop, and this building here is a diner. So we've got a pool table and a bunch of tables for them to have food. We have our weapon shop, so there's a few weapons on display. Right, there will be links to the mods that I used in the description, but it's primarily CVC, Kuro Tab and Workshop Rearranged. So this is our chemist. It looks a bit shady, but it'll be alright. And we have our general store, which you reused a Deathclaw cage to make their little shop. And there's also the armor vendor that also used a Deathclaw cage. So we're gonna come out of here and come up the stairs. We do have bathrooms on this floor, so we've got urinals and sinks, and obviously your toilets in here. It's a very dingy, dark place, but we'll make our way up to the next floor. Right, so since this place grew so big, we have our own archives and records room, and this is where Nick will be around. I'm not really sure where he is at the moment, but he will keep tabs on what everybody does and assign people jobs, so he kind of like just runs the settlement for us. On this side we have a workshop, just a fairly standard little workshop, not really much going on. So we continue around and we end up at the new Hubris comic store, which has a bunch of comics in it and posters and just general things like that. We have a small butcher shop, which I'm sure is possessed, because when you open the door it just slams again and you can't actually get into the room, so that's a bit odd, but we can look through this window and see that there's meat everywhere. Alright, so we have an armory which somebody has left the door open, and we've got power armor, shelves, a bunch of weapons and the gun racks just all in here. So continue round, we've got 3 cells here for people that are up to no good, and we have it next to the schoolhouse, and people like to tell the kids if they don't behave in school they will end up in one of these cells when they're older, because that's how you grow future generations. Okay, next up we've got the library. It's a fully stocked library which has just been sourced from the Wasteland, and there's a couple of seats for people just to sit and read. And we'll go to the next floor. Alright, this room is just a little interrogation room, so you have a bunch of things for torture. You also have a bed that to torture people, and a bunch of gross stuff just there. Okay, even though there is a torture thing on this floor, this is going up in the class levels, so we're now into higher accommodation, but nobody so far has actually moved in. So we've got a room here that's for rent, which is next to our worship area. It doesn't matter what you worship, you can come here, and if people want to listen to you they can take a seat. And we also have another small apartment here, but once again it's not in use. This room here is just a little chill out area for people. There was a TV, but I'm not sure where it's gone. And we have a doctor up here. It's generally just for surgery, but it's very minimally decorated. So we'll continue our way around. Next we have our small drug den. People can come in here and sit and just get off their faces on various chems, and even paint if they really want to. So we can continue around, and we are headed to the bar area. So it's just a couple of tables, and in here we have a very small bar. this next room is a repurposed commentator's box. So back when it was an arena, the commentators could see the action down on the floor, and now it is just used as a broadcast centre for the settlement itself. And that is the third floor. We have one more floor, but we have to go all the way back round. And we have two separate areas up here. This staircase leads you to our guards' living quarters. So they have a good view into the marketplace, and they sleep in here. It's being very well used at the moment. And here is their small personal armory with a bunch of power armor, and they can come through this door and just jump straight down if there's any trouble within the settlement, or they can go up these rickety little steps out onto the roof and into another section of build. So we have a little shanty town at one of the entrances to the city. It's just a couple of shacks with some farm area for our Brahmin and some windmills to get some power, and we also have our greenhouses. And we also have a junk emporium. So this is just filled with various scavenging stations and just random junk that people might want. And there's a pile of cars just there if anybody wants to pick them for spare parts. We'll go back to the roof just to show another section of the final floor. We're going to cheat a little bit and going to jump across. So we have to go back out of this because there is no way to get to the rest of the the final floor. So we gotta come back down these steps and all the way back round to the steps that are by the bar. So we can continue around here, up these steps, and we can come to Kate's. Kate's is just a place where people can come to fight, and people can watch the fights if they want to, and if you have children you could just drop them off at our small entertainment centre. We've got arcade machines, pool and Nuka-Cola machines, and if they want to be sneaky they can watch the fight from here as well. The final stop is just along here. This long red building is the Chuckle Hut. It's the comedy club of Starlight Stadium. So we can come up here and we can tell a joke if we want, and that about covers it. So I'll just give you one last view of the overall settlement. Just get out of the building itself, and we're going to just run along here because it is a fairly large building with things outside. So we have the junkyard, greenhouses, small shanty town over there, and on this side we have the entrance with the guard tower and the shop and the garages on the side, and the stadium itself, just a little ramshackle stadium. And that's it. Thanks guys.